certification. So we're really glad to have her on board as well. And Benedicta is calling from Tanzania, correct?
Yes, specifically in Dar es Salaam. And I have others joining. We had a bit of a problem with the link.
Okay, so as soon as they come, I will be happy to welcome them as well. And Maureen, where do you come from?
Yeah, I come from Tanzania,
Okay,
specifically in Arusha. Yeah, I'm working with the tourism industry. Thank you.
wonderful. Okay, so maybe you could share a bit, Maureen, because the other have shared just before you arrived, of what interests you in coaching, and yeah, what do you expect from a coaching certification? Or that's something that is of interest for you?
Yeah, I'm interested in coaching as I do coach my colleagues, but not professional coaching. So I'm interested to be a professional coach, to be certified so that I can have a big group of people who I'm coaching.
Oh, okay. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Okay. And welcome to Suzette. Could you share as well what's your experience with coaching? What interests you in that?
Hi, I'm just logging on
Suzette.
actually. I was coming out of another meeting.
Wonderful.
So hi there. No, I'm actually a beginner. I'm a medical doctor, so I'm getting into healthcare coaching. So that's why I was interested in your brief. So happy to listen in and see what's going on.
Yeah, wonderful. We have been we have had a few doctors, people involved in the medical field as well, because as a doctor, you already have this sense of caring for people, wanting to listen, and that's such a huge asset in terms of background. So coaching is really helping. Building on these fundamentals are really important. So that's a great asset, and I think Benedicta will confirm on that. And
Yes.
Professor Mac.
Yes, I'm also, Susan, I'm also having a background in medicine, and really connecting what our background brings to coaching is quite helpful.
Definitely. And Professor McKean, are you also in medical field?
Hi,
Hi.
Marianne.
Welcome.
Fortunata, I prefer to go to that. I don't know why, because this is the office one. They use Professor McKinney. I prefer Fortunata. No, I'm not in the medical field. I'm a sociologist.
Okay. So what interests you in coaching that from your sociological point of view?
Well, I used to work for this organization which we designed. I was a lead designer of the Women's Leadership Program. And we felt that coaching will be very important to prepare these women into becoming leaders. And I've never gone through formal coaching myself, but we hired certified coaches to work with these young women. And I've encouraged a lot of women to certify. I have not, and I'm interested. I just started a new job, and so much. I haven't had time. I really wanted dedicated time to take the certification. So yeah, that's my story. That's why I'm interested in coaching. So when Benedicta told me about this session today, since I've taken leave, I said, well, let me join because
That's
I'm
the right
available.
time.
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Just like Alona, thank you for sharing from your own personal time. That's really appreciated. All right, so welcome, Catherine, and welcome, Dalila. Lovely to see you on board. what we'll do together in this webinar is really helping you to make the right choice, because obviously we are sometimes at a turning point, and making the right choice in terms of a coaching certification matters, because it does have impact later on the work we do. And especially if we want to integrate it in our career, or if we want to go separately and be an independent coach, there are some criteria that would make a difference, and it's important that you know. I have been certified in 2010, so almost 25 years ago. And I'm not sure I did the exact right choice. I mean, I'm happy to be certified, and that was the best choice, but this specific coaching certification did not really prepare me for going abroad. And coaching is now all online, and I'm coaching people from all over the world. And as you see from our audience today, we really come from different cultures, different background, and we need to be ready as a coach to coach in a language that may not necessarily be our native one, and to be comfortable coaching from different culture. And that was not in there. The other part as well is that it was not ICF certified. So when I needed to have it to work in the corporate sector, that was really many doors were closed just because I didn't have the certification accredited. And you would save a lot of trouble by having this as the reference and already settled. So such are these two elements, for example, are really important, and there are other criteria that are more specific one, and I will share with you. So let me jump in here. So here are the key criteria that we will need to ensure when we choose a coaching certification that we comply with all of them. The first is that you have very solid coaching techniques. There's something that's really reliable. Just like if you are a medical doctor, you want to have this first expertise. No matter what, you need to know your job. And that comes with really checking in terms of coaching techniques, what's the variety, etc. And I'll go deeper into that. The other one is to make sure that you have real practice with clients. So not just peer coaching and being with people I know I'm familiar with, but really addressing the reality so that when you do need to coach and you have people who are not aware of what coaching is about, or you are not your just friends or relatives, you are really prepared and you can deal with what is at stake. The other one is really about supervision, making sure you do have support. The other one is about mentoring, making sure that someone is checking your competencies, helping you move forward and give you feedback. And the last one is about helping you to position yourself when it comes to market your skills, should that be internally or externally. You need to feel confidence about your coaching capabilities and your ability to change people's life. And on that, feeling that legitimate is not that easy, and we need to have that clear positioning. So making sure we have all of this. So we'll go in detail on each so that you are absolutely comfortable. Feel free to ask any question and stop me. Use the chat. All is welcome. I'm here really for you and happy to share. It's been yes, 10 to 15 years that I'm doing that. It's really my passion and really helpful. Happy to share further. So in terms of coaching techniques, so really the content itself, you need to make sure that you know exactly what coaching techniques they teach. So many coaching certification will use the GROW model, and it could well be that you're familiar with this one. It's not a bad one. It's just a pretty fundamental one. So you define together with your coachee what is their goal, what's their objectives, then you check where they are, what's the reality. You look at options, possibilities, and then together you develop an action plan, which is fine and it's helpful. It's a fundamental, but it cannot suit every other coaching session. So for example, I had this morning, a person, a coachee. So a coachee in this coaching field is actually our client, right? Just like a patient is a client from in for medical doctors, for example. So the coachee told me, you know what? I'm so overwhelmed with everything I have to do. I'm so pissed off with my boss that I just have no more intention to work here, and I just want to leave. You know what? The grow model is not exactly what's suited to help this person. If I coach a teenager to help them define what will be their next career and what kind of study would fit for their career, very often at at when I ask them, okay, so how do you see yourself in 10 years, etc., the answer is I don't know. So the grow model is actually doing a poor job in getting deeper and having more substance so that I can go further. And so we need to have the grow model plus plenty of other things. So if the coaching certification that you choose has only the grow model, you'll be in danger that is not solid enough. Plus, if we have only one coaching techniques, then AI will do much better than us at any point of time. So this is not advisable. So as a comparison, I'll share with you what coaching techniques I teach in the People Coach certification that I'm leading so that you can then compare with any other one. So I teach the GROW model, you will know and use it, no worries, but I also teach all the other ones, the ATA, LORD, the Trust, the RASA, the Smart PCP, feedback models. So all the first ones on the left columns are what you will learn in module 1. So as soon as you start the People Coach certification, you have direct access to the content and you can start getting these techniques. We definitely practice together and we have live sessions so that you are comfortable with it. And at the end of module 1, you start coaching real clients. But you start coaching real clients with enough models to start. And at the end of module 2, we also have module 3, where it's more advanced coaching techniques, where we detail the aspiration model with all the 12 steps that you see on the right side. So the 12 steps are actually every situation that can typically happen on a whole coaching journey and for which you need to be prepared. And so at each of these steps, you also have coaching techniques and coaching tools. So these tools, as well as the one on the left that are not in italic, are the one that I have developed and tested and used, and I absolutely use in my coaching on a daily practice. Now, it's been tested. It's not only me. First of all, because I'm a coaching supervisor, so I help coaches with difficult situations to grow and really stay professional and ethical. So I also mentor coaches. So all these is really not only my own educated and experienced, but also what I have seen from the different challenges that other coaches were facing with their clients too. So they're robust and something really unique. You definitely will find the grow and the trust equation somewhere else, but the other ones are specifics to the People Coach certification. And you have many tools. So I don't want either that you have too many tools and that you're lost. Little by little, we also help you to find out what is the best tool in this situation for this client at that time. So growing your critical thinking, helping you to pick the signal that this one is more needed than the other one and which approach I should choose. And also even combining the tools so that it really gives you this expertise that will give you the flexibility to adapt to different coaches and different situations so that you're a real professional. The other question is really about practice. And if the answer is you can practice as you wish, or we have plenty of peer coaching, I would be a little bit skeptical. practicing as you wish, you know, it's a little bit as if I'm watching a great inspirational video. I then decide that, oh yeah, I may apply this. And then 3 days later, I even have forgotten about it and nothing happened. Well, I'm the first one to do that kind of thing, so I would not blame anybody. But if the practice is not mandatory, chances are that it happens are pretty minimal. The other one about peer coaching. So what is peer coaching? It's actually people who are in the same cohort, so people who are belonging to same coaching certification, who are coaching each other. So they take turn. I coach you, you coach me, and in 1 hour they have 2 coaching sessions. The problem is that there's nothing at stake. You know, if you fail it, doesn't matter. Your peer will not blame you, and end of story. Next time we'll do better. It is a safe way to practice, but it's only, I would say, a baby step. In real life, we need to have the ability to adjust and to handle what is at stake for the coachee. And that means that we need to have more practice than just peer coaching. It's just as if in medical school, we were only seeing dead bodies. Yeah, this is a way to learn, but it cannot be the only one. And if it's the only one, then we're not really fully prepared. So in the people coach certification, first of all, practice is mandatory, just because it's only when we take action and we implement things that we can test whether we're comfortable with it, whether we master it, whether we need to adjust, and how we can then grow and really hone and fine tune our skills. So at each live sessions, you have opportunity to practice, and everyone is practicing. Then and every time you are observed and you get feedback so that you know exactly what to adjust and on what you are already building that's solid and that is really leverage. And then in module 2, it's specifically designed to be a coaching practicum. And you will have one peer coaching, but this one is actually twisted. Yes, it will be with another person from the people coach certification, but it's not you coach me, I coach you, and then we exchange. No, you will coach someone for the whole duration of the people coach certification, and someone else will actually coach you. So there's no relationship between the two. You will have a real coach and you will really coach someone. And then you will also have to coach for real clients. So these people are not part of the people coach certification. They may not even know anything about coaching. It may be something brand new that they will be discovering. And you will accompany them, guide them, and coach them so that little by little they progress. So with that, it gives you an opportunity to actually practice almost every week, depending on your schedule and the other people's schedule. And it can be a bit scary to say, oh, I'm not necessarily so ready. I'm just beginning in that, etc. And yes, we're all facing some doubts and we're all facing some blockage sometimes, etc. And this is the reality of every coach, especially at the beginning. So that's why right from the beginning, you will have coaching supervision. So I'm accredited and trained coaching supervisor, which means that I help coaches with their own doubts, with their fears, and with the difficulties that they have with their clients. And little by little, we explore, we adjust, we see exactly what needs to be changed, and you go back way more relaxed and confident that you can go and progress further. So this is really tremendously helpful. It costs a lot in terms of to have supervision, and not many people are supervised coaches, accredited one. So most certification do not have this supervision. This is something that for ethical reason, I absolutely wanted to have, but probably not something that you will find in most coaching certification. So be wise on that. This is really a way to gauge how professional the faculty is and how professionally supported you will be as a beginner coach, and increasingly becoming more confident in your coaching. So the third criteria is about really the ratio between the faculty and the participant. Sometimes, you have one famous coach and 100 participants. And yes, that person can be really inspiring and sharing a lot and very generous in the way they do. But the thing is, to learn and progress, we also need some special attention. And we all progress in different ways at different rhythm. And if we don't have this personal feedback, it's difficult to progress as much as we could. So if the ratio is 1 to 100, if you go to Tony Robbins, the change that Tony Robbins gives you a personal feedback is pretty limited. So we wanted to make sure in the People Coach certification that you do have this personal attention. So I'll be there at every live, and Shanta and Nancy also here. You will have at least 5 observed mentoring practices, so that every month you have you have group mentoring and you get real feedback, and making sure that we remain with a small group of participants. It's usually 6 to 12. And once you are certified as a people coach, if you want to even grow further and go for the ICF ACC accreditation, you also have these individual mentoring to do. And these ones are included in the people coach certification as well. So making sure that when you choose a coaching certification, you will have support and individual feedback so that you can really progress at your own pace and on what you need to develop. And the last one that could be really helpful is to find out, hey, how do you help me get hired as a coach later? And if you then have a very silent answer, that's not really a good sign, because there are about 50,000 ICF certified coaches, which makes probably the double of coaches worldwide. And to stand out from all this crowd is not that easy. So you need to get support and make sure that when you stand out, there's something different, and that we can help you identify what is different. So in the People Coach certification, there is a bonus that is the whole module 4, where we help you define and refine what is your own specialty, build your coaching offer, and build also a networking plan so that you know where to go or at which door to knock so that you can have some opportunities to coach. Obviously, we'll give you feedback on that so that it gets quicker. It's a self-development journey that could be a little bit painful. So having someone to support you at that stage is really helpful as well. So I just recap. Here are the criteria for you to find the coaching certification that really suits you best. You really need to have excellent coaching practices, techniques for your expertise to be solid. You need to have real practice with real clients, making sure that you get feedback on your competencies through mentoring, helping you in your presence, in your mindset, that to be really there for your clients. And that's what supervision is about. And getting support in then marketing. So marketing doesn't mean that we are absolutely wanting to be an independent coach and charge for our fees, because there are many who are actually using coaching in their current role. But if we want to have the opportunity to coach colleagues of colleagues, or to be recognize as an internal coach, we still need to have a clear position and to have a clear message and to be recognized as such by decision makers. So we need to feel confident about what we offer, confident about our coaching skills, and able to articulate this message clearly. So that would be definitely helpful in this case too. Okay, I've been talking so much. And would be delighted to answer any question you may have. I will go on later on for sure, but at that stage, tell me, what question may you have on what we covered, or in your, how does it fit with your own situation, etc. Tell me. Feel free. Alona, the connection doesn't seem to be fabulous, but if you want to type in, because I didn't really get your question, but if you want to type in the chat, more than happy to answer. Okay, from Alona, it's clear for now. All right. Wonderful. Anybody would have a question? Happy to answer.
Sure, I have a question, if that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was thanks for all the information. It's very interesting. The idea of what to be mentoring in and what to be guiding people in and coaching. If it's a very specific subset, how do you choose the 4 people that you'll watch me coaching in? Because unless they're interested in what it is that I'm talking about, they're not going to, you know, it's not going to be very beneficial. So how do we provide the people, or what is the situation?
So we help you find, I mean, at that stage, what is interesting is also to explore different personalities, different industries, different age groups, different cultures. So it doesn't really matter that people are really interested in what you do specifically. There are people who will come to you because they think, oh, I'm interested because she's in the medical field and I want to grow in my career in this field. So I will probably connect well, and that would be a good fit. But at the start, it's actually interesting to see how well we also adapt to people who have almost nothing in common with us. And because we need to then develop that ability to build a trusting relationship. So we help you, if needed, to find the coachees. So one will be out of the group, and for the other 4, we'll help you find 2. I have never seen that it was really difficult for our participant to find another 2 people. So, in the module 1, we help you, we guide you so that you feel more comfortable about your own coaching skills, even if it's just the start, and also on how to present it and how to contact people so that they could be interested to give it a try. At that stage, you're not charging as well, or minimal. So usually it's not that difficult to find people to give it a start, to give it a try. Does that answer your question, Suzanne?
It does. I'd like to see it in practice, but thank you.
Yes. Any more questions?
Can I ask a very basic question?
Sure. Yes,
So,
Margareta.
yes, as I was following up, I know one of the kind of objective with mentoring in those steps, right? Mentoring, and so I've always learned that you know, coaching is something short term, right? It's something short term, just with a very clear defined endpoint. And then you have very specific sessions you prepare, and then when you're done, you're done. And mentoring is more for long term, sometimes going for years, right? Depending on the person. So I was just curious when I saw that mentoring is embedded into your coaching. So how does this work? Because like if you undergo the training, it means like for a specific period of time. So just wanted some clarity how mentorship is embedded in your training. Thank you.
You're absolutely right. We use the word mentoring, but we are actually addressing two different realities. I agree with you that mentoring, when we are mentoring someone on in a company, it could be to help the onboarding. It could be, and that could be for 6 months, but it could also be that we do business mentoring. So we're helping a startup to find clients, to develop and to grow, and that's over several years. It could be career mentoring, where we are actually helping a person to position themselves in their career, and it can be for years or decades. Absolutely agree on that. And this is not what is included. You're absolutely right. Why I use the word mentoring, it's because this is the term that is actually officially used in the ICF standards, the International Coaching Federation standards. So we have to use this term. What it actually means is that you actually get feedback on each of these ICF competencies standards. So ICF has defined 8 competencies that every coach needs to have. And for each competencies, there are different levels. And so when I give feedback, and at that time in this term mentor, I give feedback according to each of these competencies, and I see at which level you are and what you need to grow to the next level. So that one is included as a way to progress and to help you grow in your competencies. And it's really specific to your coaching competencies. So in that sense, it's very limited, and it doesn't have really much to do with the business mentoring, or actually the career mentoring that you were mentioning before. So really glad that we could clarify. Thanks to your question. Thank you. So Catherine asks in the chat, does coaching have standard timelines? Just so I guess that the question is about the duration. So there are some best practices. I would say that for a career coaching, for example, I would say it's probably about 6 to 12 months in terms of duration. Obviously, if the person, thanks to you, finds a job at the 7th month and you had an agreement for 12 months, you're more than happy to drop it and stop it at 7 months because you've achieved together the outcome that you were seeking for. For life coaching, for example, if I help parents to have better relationship with their children, usually it's about 4 to 6 months. If I coach a leadership team to get on well together and prepare for the transition, that would be probably more about 9 to 12 months. When I coach someone who is a new leader or who is in a new role, a new position, it's usually 6 months. So there are different durations depending on the need of the person and also on the nature of coaching. But basically, it's a mutual agreement. And obviously, it's also a question of budget. If the coaching is sponsored by a company, they don't have infinite budgets. And so they tell you, we're happy to offer you 6 sessions or 12 sessions or 6 months or 12 months. And that's it. You need to also fit with the economic reality that you offered at that time. given that, you can always negotiate. And chances, it also happens quite often that after a coaching, you have these, let's say, 6 months of coaching. The coachee may say, hey, yes, I'm happy that we've been working together and we've reached the outcome that we wanted to have. Now, I would also be interested to continue and reach this new outcome. And so you can really extend the coaching to a different contract with that same person. So in that sense, it varies, very flexible. So Alona also has a question about a coach, conscious living coach certification. Maybe that exists. I'm not aware of it. What I know is that mindfulness is part of every, I would say, responsible coach. We need to be truly mindful when we coach. So having a mindfulness practice is something that I would strongly recommend to any coach. Now, is there a specific, so there are a certification in mindfulness, that's for sure. It should be a fundamental practice for the coaching certification that you go into. But I don't know that it is specifically, what I do know is that it cannot be part of the approved accredited ICF curriculum. So it's always a bonus. So for example, if I have a bonus on helping you to create a coaching offer. So that is on top of what the ICF accreditation is granted. I do offer you in this coaching certification some emotional intelligence derived model. That's on top. So I can have all additions, but on the fundamental one, mindfulness is not there, though it is actually recommended. And this is something that I'm happy to really encourage, and I do encourage. Absolutely. Welcome, Shanta. Shanta, would you introduce yourself? Your mic is muted, dear. Yes.
I'm Shanta Nagendram from Malaysia. I'm proud to say I've qualified as a coach with Marianne's coaching certification a couple of years ago. And I want to welcome all of you all to this session. I'm sorry I'm late. I had a coaching session, and so I was just able to join in. Thank you.
And
I see
Shanta
familiar,
is joining. Yes.
I see very familiar names here as well.
Definitely.
And Benedicta,
And
of course, and Fortunata, Alona, and Catherine.
and Shanta is part of the faculty, and so she's the one who definitely helps to give brilliant mentoring. Great. Is there any more question? We were just pausing a little bit the presentation to answer questions, Shanta.
Okay.
Is there any more? Yes, there are many, Aluna, and the one here may not be the one that you know, Shanta, but still.
Oh, okay. Different Alona.
Yes, definitely. This Alona is welcome to. All right. So let me share a little bit further. So no, I did press the wrong button. Okay, this time that should be fine. Okay, I did not introduce myself, so I'm Marianne Dupuis, and I've been certified at the end of 2010 as a certified coach and trainer. I have been doing leadership coaching, parental coaching, and group coaching, team coaching, etc. So lots of different variety, but I really love this variety because it helped me to be both in corporate coaching as well as in life coaching. So I can guide you in the different niche and help you find what is relevant for you. I'm accredited ICF PCC, which means that I have been going through all these exam certification assessments, etc., to make sure that it was accredited. I am I'm a coaching supervisor too, and I do coaching mentoring for ICF assessment. I have founded with colleagues and experienced coaches the ACSM, which is the Association of Coaching Supervisors and Mentors, and I've done that in Malaysia for the whole of Asia, because I really think that supervision and mentoring are fundamental good practices that needs to be implemented as wide as possible in the coaching profession. And I've been active in training, design, and delivering them for last 30 years. Is something that I love doing. And I've coached more, I should change the number. I've coached more than 1,000 people and trained many people as well. Now, why am I sharing all this? Is because I wanted to give you an insight on, yes, I can share with you all these things, but we all as coaches will be in competition with others. So here, if you would have seen my profile and just know a little bit of what I've shared here, and you need to choose between me, myself, or Ibrahim, or Julia, which coach would you probably pick as your coach to hire? Can you type in the chat?
Marianne?
Yes, sorry. Yes.
Marianne, I don't know if it's just me, but your voice is a little soft. I don't know
Ah,
whether all the others can hear you. Maybe your speaker might.
okay. Is it now better?
Yes, a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for highlighting that. See, what is interesting is that we see in the chat the variety and the difference of answers. So yes, there are some obvious objective reasons why we should choose this person or the other one, but there's also many emotional, relational reasons why people will choose you as a coach. So, for example, if you say, I really want to have a coach who's a male because I'm more comfortable with male, then Ibrahim will be the obvious choice. Or if I am more comfortable with this age group, then I will pick someone who is in this age group target that I feel comfortable with. So, why I'm saying all this is that even if you start as a coach, there are people who will pick you even if you are just starting. So because otherwise, if we only take the rational criteria, then we should pick the one who's the most experienced or who has the best rating. But the reality is actually different. So, or you can actually pick the one who's the best looking, and absolutely, there's so many criteria. Or the one, often as well, people will choose the people who they have been recommended from other people, or they will choose people who speak the same language as their native one because they feel more comfortable, for example. Or they tell you, oh, I've picked you because I love numbers, and I think in your LinkedIn profile that you've been in finance, so you must love numbers. It's not actually true, but as long as we feel comfortable to work together, it's actually fine. So what is interesting is that you don't need to be an expert in a specific field. You can coach across industries, across age, across cultures. But we need to have, as a coach, some kind of signature so that it's easy to attract the people that we want to work with because of the on what we show and what we articulate. So for what is interesting as well is that, as you have noticed here, I've put some ratings. So the 9.6 is the one is mine because I know this one. The other ones, they're not public, so I've just put numbers. But what I wanted to show you is how do we get a very good rating? It actually comes from all these different elements. First, we need to be rock solid on our expertise. Somebody who's not solid and who's doing a coaching mistake, who is not helping the coachee progress, it will very quickly end up into stopping the coaching. So in that sense, you need to have really a strong training as fundamentals. Then it comes from practice. The more practice we do with real clients, then it makes a difference because we will be more flexible, we're more tuned, we see precisely what's needed for this person, and that grows with practice. What I also have is getting regular mentoring. Yes, I too get mentoring, and I will still have later on because my competences also needs to grow at whichever level. So getting feedback from experienced coaches who are at a high level is actually very helpful. I also get supervision, regular supervision, group supervision, and this is really helpful to be grounded, to be in the right mindset, and to deliver well when I do coaching. And the last one is to have a clear positioning. So I'm pretty clear about who do I coach in priority. Yes, there could be other offers, and why not? I will see whether I have time and I have desire to help these people. But in principle, I have a main target, and these will be my favorite clients. So once you have all that, you definitely have all chances to make a difference and to be able to coach serenely, I would say. So that's why this criteria needs to be taken upfront, right from the start when you choose a coaching certification. Now, if that would ever interest you to become a certified people coach, I will show you what we do, and then you can definitely compare with other coaching certification, whether that suits you or whether something is differently and more adjusted to what you do. So how do we actually articulate it? Your progression is actually in 4 modules. You have direct access from the moment you register to module 1, because part of what we do is actually an online curriculum where you have a step-by-step progression. Really, I've chunked down the content so that it's really in short videos, plus some action steps that you need to complete before you actually move to the next one. So videos are short. You also have the audio. You have you can have the transcript as well. Just because when we are not necessarily a native speaker, a native English speaker, it can be helpful to reduce the pace or accelerate it if it's boring and you already have covered that, and making sure that it suits you best, or that you only want to have the audio if you want to have it on your mobile and you don't need a video and you want to or you want to review it as much as you want. So there's always that online curriculum that you will have for the whole duration of the People Coach certification, with content that is incrementally improving. And then you have opportunities to practice at each of the lives. So module 1 lives, you come, and what we'll do is that, first of all, we answer your question. We make sure that we review the content that is online, give explanation on what is needed, and you practice. You practice, you practice, you practice. We observed how you practice, we give you feedback. And this is also a way to to be in a safe environment where everyone being practicing, you can also learn from others. Say, oh, he's done that one. That question is clever. Let's me borrow it for the next time, etc. So we actually grow together, and that's also what's helpful as a group. Module 2 is about coaching practicum, where you have support through mentoring and supervision. So you start coaching real clients, so the 4 real clients we're talking about, and one peer, so that you really have a critical mass and you have a diversity. I would even encourage you, if you speak 2 languages and you feel comfortable, to coach in either one, to pick people with different languages so that you also observe how you handle your coaching in different languages and what does that bring to you. And then in module 3, we have these advanced coaching techniques where we go deeper in what are the difficulties that we may face in a coaching journey and how to adapt to each of them. So at each level of these module 1 and module 3, you have several coaching tools and techniques, and you will then be able to choose which one is relevant in which circumstance, and making sure that you provide what is suited to your coaching on the spot, because there's not a second or third chance. We really need to be coaching right away. At the end of module 3, there is an assessment. And the point of this assessment is to observe how you coach and making sure that at that time you're able to reach the level that is required for the first level of ICC. First level of ICF certification or accreditation. So not everyone is ready at that time. It doesn't matter that you then redo it and until you have the level. But what's sure is that I only grant the people coach certification for people who are ready to coach. I really want to make sure that we have competent people coaches once they're certified, because we can harm people with poor coaching, and I don't want that to happen with the lovely people that I've trained. And module 4 is all about coaching marketing, so helping you to position yourself and your offer towards the people that you will love to coach later on. So how does it fit? Basically, you see that there are module 1 and module 3 are over several days. So in September and in January, whereas for module 2 and module 4, every time it's a single day. Now, when I'm talking about days, it is actually 2 hours slot every time. Why is it so? Because we have the great honor of having an international faculty. So Shanta lives in Malaysia, I live in Luxembourg, and Nancy is actually living in Washington, which means that if we want to have the whole faculty, we need to fit within the time zone. And so Shanta has it at dinner time, I have it at lunchtime, and Nancy has it at breakfast time, so that you have the opportunity to have a full global faculty in front of you. Why is it important? Because that gives you an idea, like coaching is not only one way. And that we need to cope with different realities. And so the more we do in terms of international faculty, international audience, it will help you as well when you coach client to take into account this cross-cultural coaching and dealing with the delights, the pleasure, and as well as the struggle of being a global coach. But that also gives you the freedom to coach anywhere and almost anybody. And that gives you so many more options than to just remain in your own vicinity. So I think it's a great chance, and we wanted to have it translated and incorporated in the People Coach. So you have these mandatory lives at fixed times, and I've put the dates here. The rest of the time is really entire discretion, at your own free time. So online content, you have access as soon as you register, and it's at your own pace. I would strongly recommend that you do all the preparation for before module 2 and before module 3, so that you really make the most of the lives and can really practice what you have learned. You will have coaching practice with the different clients. For each of these clients, you will need to offer them 5 coaching sessions, but you can schedule them at the time you want, at the date you want. Usually of course, it's in a common agreement with your coachee, with your client. I would strongly recommend that you prepare before your coaching sessions. You will have supports to self-reflect and journal after as well, so that you really make the most of this learning practice. And it means, therefore, that you need to count about 5 to 8 hours of coaching client, so that you also take into account the preparation and after coaching. You also have to give an essay and case study at the very end. So after you've taken the assessment, you still have a month to send your essay and case studies. These are actually helpful to reflect on what you have learned and actually shape your legitimacy and feeling really confident that, yes, now you're a coach and you can really make a difference for people. So that grows your own confidence and your status and your posture, and that helps a lot for marketing later on. So it's really designed for you. So this is an idea of how does the online curriculum look like. So as you see that, for example, module 1, fundamental techniques, that needs to be completed before live 2. You have different lessons, let's say, and on each you have steps. So steps, for example, how to design a credible coaching relationship. You have 4 steps, and here the person has completed the first 2 steps out of the 4, etc. So really step by step, literally, so that you progress. And at every single time in this online platform, you can ask a question and you'll get your answer within 2 days maximum, so that you're never blocked and you can go on. So what is actually happening is that we want to make sure that you are coaching real clients, because this is also how you will see the ripple effect that is happening when we actually coach someone. For example, if I've talked to you this earlier about that person who said, I can't stand my boss, I just want to leave, etc. I'm coaching this person right now, so I don't know exactly how it evolved, but I've coached someone 6 months ago with exactly the same issue. And I told him, okay, so before you leave, and we may work together on finding you a new job that would be better suited, would that be meaningful for you that we settle the issues that you currently have with your boss, and that you don't face the same issue later on in your next job? So he agreed. And we managed to really change the way he communicates, the expectations of both sides, etc. How he was able to deliver as well, how he was able to perform, how he was handling any kind of frustration, etc. And what happened is that at the end of 6 months, he actually wanted to stay where he was. So that the effect was obviously for him, but it was also for his boss. It was for the people he was working with. It was for his family. It was with his friends. And, it's not only one person, it's a whole community that we are actually shaping and helping to improve, and with whom we have that positive impact. So that ripple effect is something that you will also experience right away when you're coaching someone. And sometimes you will also see that you help people yeah, make a meaningful decision, go through a major transition. And this is all the beauty of coaching, where we have a profound impact on people's lives. This is also a huge responsibility. This is why we need to be both ethical and professional as a coach. So I've just talked about transforming communities. You also help your clients, but one aspect is also that you grow yourself. You will discover that your coachee will come with amazing solutions that you had never thought about, and that you will learn from them. I also coach people from environments that I would never meet otherwise. I used to coach someone who was working as a marketing director for a luxury watch. When I speak about luxury watch, the first price is 50,000 euros. Just for me, it's just out of question that I would ever have that kind of object. And spontaneously, this is not the person that I would have party with, or who would have the children in the same school as mine. But I had the privilege of coaching that person. And that was a very meaningful coaching journey. And, 5 years later, because I had moved to Malaysia, 5 years later, he said, "Hey, I'm coming to Malaysia, and I have something for you." And he came with a champagne bottle that we could celebrate meeting again 5 years later. So, it's about all these relationship, these bonds that you also create, and that's part of the impact that we create as a coach. So, concretely speaking, in terms of what is offered in the People Coach certification, you have all these module 1, 2, 3, and the different bonuses. So I always have the question, how much does it cost? And it's a legitimate one. So in terms of value, you see that you have the different values for each separate ones. I've actually not been able to put a value to the coaching practice with real clients, so it counts as 0, but the reality is that you will definitely learn a lot. But the total value here, without the value from the coaching practice, is 11,000 euros. What is actually the public price is 3,595. And if you want to subscribe before May 1st, you would have a special bonus of 10%, and that will be a special price. So you will just need to write to me and get the code, and I'm happy to share with you so that you have this bonus and the special price at that time. To be truly honest, we have factored a lot of effort, and it's been we've had 15 groups so far. So I've seen a lot of other certifications and a lot of other coaches, and the way you end up as a real coach at the end. So I can tell you, this is a great deal. So obviously I'm biased by saying that, but I'm really truly honest in telling you that too. I would like just to share a few testimonials from our alumni. So Julia is actually now in the States. She actually loved the training. She did it when she was in Malaysia. She's actually from Ukraine, so that was not her first language. And she had really enjoyed to be able to coach. She never have stopped her job. She has been doing the whole People Coach certification while being working, and she is still doing it, and that she really enjoys it. Bernard has specialized later on as a green coach. So he's actually a consultant with a chemical background, and he helps he helps companies transition towards being more sustainability in their practice. And so he's been using that as consulting, but he's adding the coaching skills that he has to really help people embracing change and really going quicker in adopting these kinds of best practices. So it's been really helpful for him to go for the people coach certification too. Who else? Yeah, Eriko. Eriko is Japanese and she's a recruiter. And so she's been doing the people coach certification while she was in Malaysia. It worked really well for her, made a real difference. It was also an opportunity for her to practice English and to learn and to listen to English. She did a tremendous work on really growing her language skills through the certification, which is almost a side benefit, but was really meaningful. And she then has been raising her coaching skills, her leadership skills, and she's been promoted to a different, a higher position in Japan. So she's now in Tokyo. And Mindy is actually a trainer, and she does sales training, and so she has added the coaching to her practice, and that makes it's a yeah, very, very effective because she can be closer to her audience, making sure that she tailors them to have a better success rate. And so she's actually also having these blended programs where you can actually train people and then add it as a follow-up, having some coaching so that they implement what they have learned during the training. So, you know, that's an added service, an added product, and very effective and reinforcing what she does to be even more effective. I have a question from Catherine. Are there moments where you coach a person and the person didn't reach the expectation, and how does one deal with that situation? Yeah, I wouldn't be honest to say that it actually worked all the time for everyone at every single point. We're dealing with human people, with human beings, and obviously there will be surprises. Now, in terms of percentage, it's very minimal. So that's the first thing I want to clarify. Because when someone is going into coaching, on the very first time we meet, I tell them, okay, there are several principles, and one is commitment. I won't do miracle without your help. And if you don't take action, you won't get any results. So commitment is really important. Do you agree on that? So they agree. And if there is a lack of commitment later on, I can bring it back to what we have agreed and say, hey, the expectation was that we both commit to this coaching journey. So if we want to make sure that there are some results, what needs to be adjusted in terms of commitment? So really throwing back the ball to that person and say, hey, you need to play your part. Are you willing to or not? And sometimes, you know, it could be that the person is going through a personal crisis and the coaching is no longer needed at that time. And so it's also offering, okay, we may just pause the coaching and we'll take it back when you're back on track, right? So it's not being completely firm and rigid and that. It's really understanding where the person is and helping them to progress. Now, there are people who were more at the beginning, I didn't really calibrate well in terms of expectations. So they were eager to get something that was more than a dream, than really something that I had honed and crystallized as a deliberate goal that they could go through. So it's very important that we hone the goal and we check how realistic this one is. So that would be the case where I had that. And then we just realized together that it was probably not reachable or not under these circumstances. And so what shall we do? Are we eager to stop it, or we do something different? and then we move forward together. But if we want to go on, then we probably need to recalibrate the goal and be humble, saying, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm partly responsible. I should have checked earlier how realistic that was. I didn't realize that it was so stretching for you. So I take part of that responsibility too. Does that make sense, Catherine?
Yes, Marianne, thank you.
Most welcome. Anything you would like to share, Benedicta, from your own experience, maybe?
Thank you, Marianne. Just also to add on Catherine's question, it's actually something that happened to me this morning. I had a foundation session with a coach who is going to be coaching me for the rest of the year. I've enrolled into a program that has coaching, and we went beyond the 60 minutes, the 1 hour, because it wasn't clear on the goal that I wanted to achieve. And one of the objectives for this session was to come out with a very clear goal that I can work towards and see myself, getting out of this partnership. So these are very practical situations that do happen. So we went through this drilling until we arrived to a goal that was clear on my side and her part. And it was a very happy ending of the session. So yeah, just to tell Catherine that it happens, and when expectations are not clear at the beginning, you really need to be so sure and clear of what needs to be addressed, what needs to be done, and then the rest of the journey, I think, becomes easy. Yeah. So in my own experience, I think just being ready to commit, to the program. Marianne mentioned about the preparations before the modules. I think in my situation, I've done this course, and understanding the modules before going to the lives, and especially the module 1, the first module, I think I had ample time to do that. It is there in my reflections in the essay. Helped me quite a lot to integrate into the live sessions and bring on, the theory and then the practice. And then when, the later modules, the practice is also wonderful in the sense of seeing this diversity, the people you work with, you coach. She mentioned like different time zones. I had to coach people in Germany, in the Gambia, in Africa, and yeah, Malaysia, different age groups. In Tanzania, I speak Swahili. Swahili is our native language in Tanzania. So coaching in English and coaching in Swahili, I also wanted to get that and feel how it evolves. And it was very interesting how working with Swahili non-English speakers would get us into some details that are deeper, that only you can express in your mother tongue, yeah, and not in a different language. And so also the different age groups. I recently finished coaching a student who is just transitioning, from Africa to Malaysia in a new university. And I saw how, coaching someone who is already advanced in their career and someone who is just stepping into her higher education in another country. So the dynamics are quite real, and they challenge you as a coach to apply which tools, which skills will suit that situation. But it's really a wonderful experience, and especially when when you see a difference in how people evolve and achieve, what they came into the journey, having as goals they wanted to achieve, and they had obstacles, and just working with them through this thought-provoking process, and see the results in the end. It's truly rewarding. So it was a wonderful experience. It's a lot of work also, because I did the program while also at work. So it was to negotiate time, and I'm glad I did all the lives. I could have all the time for the live sessions, which are mandatory, but to really invest on that and just be available and ready for to commit to the journey. Yeah. And I congratulate you all for attending the webinar on a short notice.
Yes, thank you, Benedicta. I couldn't say better. And sometimes we're even more proud than our coaches when they reach the milestone that they wanted, right? It's so rewarding. We're so hoping they get there. And once they get it, wow. Shanta, anything you would like to add to what we have mentioned before? Your mic is muted.
Yeah, I really can't hear very well. I think something is wrong with my speaker, but I wanted to quickly address Catherine's question again also. I think the coach doesn't wait until the end of the journey to see the goal achievement. Maybe you've answered this, Marianne. The coach doesn't wait until the end of the journey to examine why these goals are not being achieved. A well-trained coach in the coaching journey, by the second session, will already be asking, how are you doing with your action steps? And if you do anything, you will be asking, what is holding you back? What are the obstacles you're facing? So at every part of the coaching journey, a coachee is committing to take a few steps and then come back and say how they're progressing. And sometimes there's a difficulty progressing, and then the coach has a feedback system of asking, I observed this, I noticed this, or I'm wondering, that kind of thing. So a trained coach will ask you those questions and assess how you're going to progress in this journey and how far you want to go. So it's not really waiting until the end to see they have not achieved. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why it's really marginal that
Other than that,
someone is
maybe
not.
since you have asked me, Marianne, let me just add that for me, I got certified at age 70. And after a long career in public service and also as a trainer, after 40 years of doing training. So it was a total mind shift for me from telling people what to do, a lot of unlearning from training into coaching techniques, which was really something that was an eye-opener, very, very rewarding and fulfilling. I also feel it's a better way for me to live my personal life because I've always been a very prescriptive type of person, having a teacher mentality. So it took a lot out of me to be able to be more open. And recently I had a story from one of my own coaches recently, who also wants to be a coach. And she told me that she watched a YouTube where there was a coach who was so tempted to give a solution. We are always tempted to give a solution. And she said, this coachee was telling me the YouTube that she watched of a coaching of this coach who was very tempted. This coach said she was sitting by the river and she was watching the water flow in the river, and there were a lot of rocks. And as she watched the water flow, the water found its way around the rocks and knew how to go around the rocks. And it taught her that the coaches, your coaches, will find their solutions with a little bit of the right questions and the nudge, direction maybe. And so I thought that was a very powerful example because as a fairly new coach, you're still tempted to give a little advice because you feel you know the answers, you have been in that line of work or whatever. So it was a total mindset change to suspend all judgment and to let the coaches sit in the driver's seat. I'm very happy with those changes I made in myself because it has improved the quality of my personal life as well. I just wanted to add that from someone who went into it pretty late in my life.
Wonderful. Yeah, we all have very different experience and very meaningful ones. That's what the richness of coaching is about. Is there any question from Aluna, Maureen, Fortunata, Susan, Catherine, if you have another one that something you would need to clarify, to feel free. We're definitely here to answer them and to make you feel that you have all you need. Thank you, Benedicta.
Thank you, Marianne. It was a helpful insight, and I think I will reach you. I'll reach out to you for more clarification on the session.
Sure.
I've learned a lot. Yes, I learned a lot I didn't know
It's
before.
been
Thank you so
helpful.
much. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
Maureen.
opportunity. Yes.
Most welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful session. It was so exciting. Am I audible?
We can
Oh,
hear you.
you can hear me.
Yes. Now
Thank
better.
you. It was
Even.
so informative, and I'm excited, and I think I will have to I'll have a look and see what is on my current plans and see how I can get into the session, maybe in the coming session or after. I'm
Sure.
glad to meet Madam Shanta.
Yes.
I was under her guidance. She was my coach during leadership training. So these are some of the things that I'm applying from the lessons that I learned under her, to prioritize things, to see what is on my plate, not just to jump into things. So I'm excited, and I'm also happy to see like you women into this. I'm just thinking and imagining like how fulfilling the practice or the coaching itself. And
It is fulfilling, definitely.
I would love to keep on learning. Yeah, I can see just through following through on what you have shared. So thank you so much. I'm glad that
Most
I
welcome.
joined. Of course, it was a short notice, but I'm so happy. And
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much. Definitely.
everything you have shared and what my fellows also shared. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine. Happy to see you too.
Thank you, Shanta, and your son. Your grandson is growing now. He started walking.
Catherine had
We
a
should
baby
plan
when in the coaching journey, she had a baby on Christmas Day 2 years ago. Yeah.
A happy mother. Wonderful. Okay, so if there's any more question, we're happy to answer. Otherwise, we will. Thank you,
Maybe one more
Fortunata.
question.
Yes.
Sorry, Marianne. Just in case someone wants to reach you, Is this same email that you used on this link? Is it your same email that a person can send, or you have maybe a WhatsApp number?
Yes, absolutely. So let me give you my number and my email.
Thank you.
And otherwise, the link on the website, you can reach me too. Was definitely nice meeting you all. Absolutely. So thank you, everyone. Lovely to have been with you all, and looking forward to our next opportunity. Should that be within the people coach certification and see you grow in this field, or should that be any opportunity? That will be always a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.